Leader. Leader! Leader! I snapped my head up with wide eyes, seeing Anaki standing over me, tapping my shoulder. Yes? I yelled, a little annoyed from being abruptly woken up. She jumped back at my response, but calmed her posture. You have school in 10 minutes. Sorry for not waking you up earlier. I cut her off, jumping out of my seat. Oh my god, I can't be late! I yelled, rushing to get ready in time. I grabbed my bag and shoved my notebook and textbook into it. I grabbed my shoes and rushed out the door, yelling a brief goodbye before slamming the door behind me. I ran on the sidewalk and got some weird looks from people on the street or in the grass or wherever. I ignored them and ran until I got past the front gate. I got there and the first bell had rung, meaning I could take a breather. Whew. And walk into my classroom. Homeroom. While I was walking over to my class, I heard people whispering in the hallways. The only words I could hear were Kyoko Kirigiri and a new student. I shrugged and took my seat with a huff. Oh, hey, Kokichi. I'm assuming you're not exactly excited for school. Nagito said from beside me, pulling his notebook out of his bag and softly placing it on the table. No shit! I yelled, making him flinch. I calmed my gaze with a sigh and grabbed my notebook, placing it on the table in front of me. Sorry, I didn't mean to anger you, Nagito said, his voice clipping on his words. It's fine, I just didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I sighed, putting my head in my folded arms on the table. It was because of the reading from Miss Monofian's class. All 14 chapters, right? He asked, seeming to calm down a bit. Yeah, except I didn't do the reading yesterday, so I had to read about 17 chapters in one night. I said, words getting muffled by my clothes. But Nagito seemed to hear me anyway. That's not the best, sorry, Kokichi. He said, chiding himself. No, it's not your fault. I should have managed my time better. I whispered into my arms, pleading for the bell to ring so I could get this hell over with. Nagito gasped when the bell chimed out. I laughed a little as he was so distraught by this. Welcome to class, Ultimates! Miss Monomi exclaimed, clasping her hands together. Some people greeted her back, but the majority gave her displeased groans. This made her frown slightly before a smile was planted back on her face. I hope you all got the reading done. You should all be in chapter 57, she announced, giving a side glance to me when my head came up slightly, making me flinch. Well, today, write 3 paragraphs about the development of the characters. Make sure you get 3 different plot points that cause this change in each paragraph, or you will fail the assignment, she said before taking a seat at her desk, opening the book we were reading with a small smile. I groaned and looked over at Nagito, who gave me a pained glance. I grabbed my computer and opened the document for this class where we already had about 25 paragraphs about the same damn book, give or take. I typed the best I could without wanting to scream and pull out my hair. This class is probably my worst one. Oh, you must be the new student, right? Shuichi Saihara, correct? I looked up, curious. That must be the new student people were talking about earlier. This could get interesting.
Kyoko and I walked toward this school, Hope's Peak. Today was the day I had to start my new life here. As a vampire, Kyoko reassures me that it's going to be okay and I will fit in after the first couple of days. I pulled my hat down over my eyes. Why did it have to be so damn sunny today? I felt my skin crawl under the warmth of my black uniform. Okay, here's your schedule, Shuichi. I will take you to your homeroom. You can handle navigating after that. If you have any problems, you can text me. Don't worry about getting into trouble. I told them I would need to stay in contact with you. For health reasons, Kyoko said, handing me my schedule and giving me a phone. Thank you, Kyoko, I said, not knowing what to say to show an ounce of gratitude for everything she and Kathy had done for me, because of my condition now. Of course, she said, before we walked the rest of the way to my homeroom in silence. When we got there, the teacher gave her a confused glance before she looked over at me. "Oh, you must be the new student, Saichi Sahara, right?" she exclaimed, making the eyes of the multitude of students all turn down to look at me. I looked up briefly, and the first thing I saw was hard to miss: purple hair and purple eyes. "Yes, he is starting here today," Kyoko said, making the woman give me a bright smile. "Okay, you can sit in the spot behind Kokichi and Nagito, right next to Hajime." She pointed to the desk right above the boy with the purple hair. "He must be Nagito or Kokichi, then." "Thank you, ma'am," I said quietly before taking my seat at the back of the class. Kyoko gave me a small smile before she walked out of the room. "So you must be the new student. I have heard so much about you, Shuichi," the boy with the purple hair said, turning around to face me, making the other male with the white hair and pink tips do the same. "Yeah," I pulled my hat down, feeling embarrassed by his teasing tone and cute demeanor. "Oh, my name is Kokichi Oma, but you can call me Kokichi. And this is Nagito," he said, introducing himself before pointing to Nagito when he said his name. "So, Shuichi," he paused, putting his hand on his chin deep in thought. "What's your schedule like?" he asked, looking at the paper folded in my hand. "Oh, here you go. I'm not sure where any of the classes are, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out," I said, not wanting to draw more attention to myself. "Oh?" he said, eyes widening as he looked at my paper. "What's wrong?" I asked, getting more embarrassed, thinking of something way off about my schedule. "Nothing, Shuichi. We just have all the same classes together," he said with a smirk, making my blush deepen. "Oh, is that so?" I said, trying my hardest not to stutter. "Yep, so that means I can show you around, my beloved," he said in his teasing tone. Beloved?" I asked with a shudder, making myself cry by how weak my voice sounded. "Yeah, my beloved Shuichi needs some help, and I, Kokichi, am willing to give you the help that you need," he exclaimed over the noise of the class of the other students discussing what they wrote. "Ah," I gasped, seeing numbers written on my schedule as he passed it back to me. "And there's my phone number, so if you need any help getting caught up or just need to talk, then call me," he said with a wink before he and Nagito turned back around and went back to their work. "Sorry about that, Shuichi," I heard Hajime say from beside me, looking up from his paper. "They can be a little over the top sometimes," he said, rubbing the back of his neck awkwardly. Yeah," I said before looking at the paper in front of me and consciously tracing the letters with a smile. "Anyway, we are reading this book and we have already read 57 chapters. I bet you could ask Kokichi to catch you up," he said, passing me a copy of the book with the number 8 on it. "Thank you," I said, taking the book out of his hand. "Of course. Oh, remember to tell Miss Monfien that you have book number 8, so she can put it in the system that this book is the one that you have," Hajime said before turning back to his computer and continuing typing. This is going to be a long day.